Okay, let's try that again.
Yeah.
So sorry. I forgot it was on menu focus for a second.
Hey everyone, I'm Haley.
Hello.
That's Lauren.
Yeah, you already know.
Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We are going to be talking about how we make our relationship work as far as like arguments and everything, how we compromise, meet in the middle, all of those things. As a U-Haul lesbian couple, you know.
U-Haul? I
don't know. We kind of moved in with each other after
2 months.
2 months. 2 months, right?
That's
like
not.
So like we knew about each other, right? But like you don't really know each other until you move in. So especially that early on, right? So we're just giving you like how we deal with things. Maybe you'll find it helpful, maybe you'll find it funny. I don't know. We're just gonna kind of talk at you and see what happens.
I love how you
wish
just
we were on that plane.
did the entire intro.
Do you want to do the intro?
No, that's okay. I'd also like to mention that this is like my first time moving to a place and like everything is new. Like I've never gone past the East Coast. Like I've always been on the East Coast. Like I grew up in North Carolina, so I kind of stayed in that area. Or Connecticut, it depends. But like I moved to California with her after 2 months of knowing her. So that also came with challenges, which also made it rocky, I think, too.
Yeah. We're like
bit.
definitely at different points in our lives. Like even though the age gap is only 2 years,
Yes, 2 years.
it still feels very different as like 24 to 22, just because like your early 20s, so much happens.
Yeah.
Cause like as Lauren said, she's only ever been on the East Coast, whereas like I grew up in Minnesota and then I moved to New Jersey. I spent 5 summers in Maine. I've lived in California. So I have like those different experiences where I've learned everything that I know now, but I can see a lot of like Lauren's transition in like the first time I moved to New Jersey. And I'm like, oh, that's what I was like, I hated that, or I was sad at this point. So it's nice to see that like you are going through things I went through and you're not giving up and you're still pushing, and it's nice to see like the changes in you as well. Because personally I've seen you change so much from June to February.
Yeah.
I feel like you have felt yourself change a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I've changed. You can talk on that as much as you want. But I feel like you've definitely learned so much by moving out here. And even though it's not like our permanent, we're going to be here forever, like I know you're my forever, so it's nice. Don't roll your eyes at me.
She love you stuff. Anyways, we're talking about arguments, not about everything else.
Might need to make a few videos out of this one.
With moving and life changing in early 20s and everything happening and going on. Relationships. We've had our fair share of fights.
We've had less than 10, which is good though.
You've been counting.
Ballpark. I haven't been counting, but like we've had like Thanksgiving was actually a fight.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
But we were both homesick and sad, so that didn't help. Our big fight was Thanksgiving. And then January, the week after we got back from the cruise, was kind of rocky.
But that was just because you go from like a life high to like
back to everything else,
you
and
know,
you're just like frustrated.
Yeah.
It's not that we were actually mad at each other. I think we were just like
situationally
we
challenged.
Felt very stuck. I think because we knew what we were looking forward to next, but it was so far away.
It still is.
And it still is far away.
For everyone else, how do you think we got through those rough points? Like when we are in mid-fight, what do you think about? I'm always in the mindset of like, I messed up. How do I apologize? Because you know, it's always your feelings that get hurt most of the time.
So your mindset is, how did I mess up? It doesn't feel that. Because let me tell you, it doesn't feel that way when you talk to me.
Well, no,
it don't feel like that.
I always start reflecting. I'm like, okay, what did I do? Like, what is the problem that I did? Yeah, because I always blame myself for everything. Like, that's just a thing that I do.
Afterwards. You talked about during. So are we doing during or afterwards?
Most of the time it's like after, and it's like that quiet point and the awkwardness. It's like,
I think, let's give a little bit of a backstory about how we argue.
Right, here we go. Picture this.
Like, you talk about you personally.
Shh. Let me tell the story. Picture this. I say something dumb. Haley gets offended. Haley starts crying. Haley starts yelling at me because I'm being offensive. I don't understand why that's offensive. So I'm just like, oh, whatever. And then Ailey rolls away or starts going on a walk somewhere. And that's usually how it goes. Accurate?
Okay. I was going to say, talk about how you argue with other people in general. Like, I, as an arguer, if I ever raise my voice, I instantly start crying. I cannot yell and not cry. Like, that's just how it goes. I'll tell you. So,
Okay. I'll tell you.
I rarely get angry with Lauren.
You did one time.
I got angry one time with her. I don't remember why I was angry, but I remember saying,
It was
Lauren,
on the cruise.
Yeah, it was on the cruise. And I was like, Lauren, I'm actually angry at you right now. And she's like, wait, what? And I was like, yep, so don't talk to me. Because, like, I don't do that.
And then what did I do? I flopped on you and gave you a
Literally. But anyways, how we fight, I would say the majority of it is Lauren says something that she isn't supposed to say because she claims North Carolina didn't teach her well, you know, down there in the South. And her college was online, so she didn't learn things, I guess. I don't know.
But it's also...
And it's not even just a politically correct way. It's just like sometimes she just actually like, I'm like, we don't say those things anymore, right? So I'm just like trying to correct her and like teach her from kindness. And then someone maybe feels defensive, I don't know, and then gets mad at me.
Like, okay, coming from a standpoint of knowing things and like how you're taught things, right?
Yeah.
You are in this mindset of like, oh, okay, this is how things are supposed to be. And then like when you tell me that I'm wrong after knowing how those things are supposed to be, it's frustrating because like it doesn't like register in my brain that it's wrong. It just is like, that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
I don't understand why are you yelling at me?
Which I get, and I hope it doesn't feel like I'm yelling at you because I genuinely want to like do it from kindness and just being like, Lauren, like that's not how it is anymore. Like I know the East Coast is different than California, different from the Midwest and everything, but like also like some things are just a no-go.
Our solutions, how do we solve problems? I'm usually always apologetic. I'm like, I'm sorry. I love you. And that usually fixes it for the most part. And then we have, hummingbird. Like Haley's like, let's talk about it. And I'm like, fine. And then we talk about what was said or whatever.
I have to communicate my feelings with words. That's the only way I know how to express myself.
And like, words are hard for me. Yeah. So it's like, there's a disconnect there, which we're trying to figure out and trying to do stuff. But like, pictures and word, like words are different than like pictures and images and like showing.
Yeah. So like Lauren will draw pictures of like what her brain is feeling, and I look at it, I'm like, but I also am like, what? Like those aren't words. So we're learning how to communicate that part of ourselves, but like if we don't talk about it, it's not going to get resolved for my end of things. I don't know how you feel, but like we have to talk about it for it to get fixed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's easy to blame others. It's hard to like take ownership. So I do my best to take ownership wherever I can. That being said though, like there's definitely things where I'm like, no, I didn't do anything wrong, even though Lauren thinks I did, right? And then it's just like, what do we do?
You talk about it.
But like also like pick your battles, like for real.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to let everything build up. But like also
like that one time when I did a handstand and I could have gotten mad and I face planted and I was already having a bad day.
It was on Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving and we were having a hard time because neither of us were seeing our family. I don't even know why we were fighting, but we were just both sad.
We were just angry.
And sad and angry. And Lauren stormed out of the house and I went to follow her.
Well, no, we were going for like a walk or something to like walk and talk it out.
Oh, we were going on a walk and talk, I guess. But Laura was mad. She like actually low-key like was still kind of storming out the house, I think.
But of course my ADHD brain got the best of me and saw a concrete slab and said, I want to do a handstand on that. And it was on a hill. So obviously it's going to be hard to handstand as I already cannot handstand as it is. So I do this handstand and then I'm like, oh no, I'm off balance and I face plant. Haley is walking out the door, mid-walk out, like, she sees me and she starts
180 back into the house.
She's like this because she can't, like, she's trying to figure out whether she can laugh or whether I'm gonna get even angrier. And I start laughing because I'm just like, I'm so stupid. And then that's when you busted out laughing.
And then I was like, thank God you laughed because I had to go in the house
So
to
that's,
laugh.
I could have gotten angry and I could have been, what the, I could have done that. But at that point, I was just over it. I was over everything. There's a point where like, you just have to stop being angry.
Yeah.
And you just are sad or frustrated, whatever.
I think a nice thing is like, if we argue, we don't like go and try to say malicious things to each other on purpose. Like, I'm not gonna go into Lauren about her insecurities that I know about just because we're fighting to make her feel even worse. Like, I don't think we do that.
No.
We really keep it situational.
Yeah.
What did we fight about?
I don't know.
Oh, I got mad at her last week. We were baking a cake and she cut it without me. And I was like screaming from the room. I'm like, wait, don't cut it yet. And then she cut it without me, and I didn't get like mad, but I definitely was like,
because
Lauren.
you were like, I don't want it now. Because you were like, I want the cake. And I was like, bro, why don't you just wait? And then you're like, I want it now. So trying to please her, I cut the cake. And then she started yelling at me.
Did I actually yell?
Yeah, you were like, why? I wanted to do it. It's your first cake and I wanted to cut it, but you make a video about it, make it cute. And I'm like, okay, what is happening? But then you calm down.
But then Lauren also makes smart-ass comments to me that she knows are smart-ass comments just to push my buttons more, don't you?
Yes,
Like,
I do that. I just want to see how far I can push you, I think, because that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know.
What if you push me and I fall and don't come back?
Well, then that's when I start apologizing.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, we've been dating for 8 months. That's also something to put in. So that span of like 6 to 8 months is the hardest.
Yeah, 6 to 8 is the hardest. Have our next steps being like getting a place and being there for at least a little bit. That's kind of our goals, I think.
Which I'm sure that will come with a lot of arguments too.
Which I don't know what the arguments necessarily will be about because I don't have as many requirements of a living situation as like I just want a dishwasher, and if we have a car I need a driveway because I can't parallel park, and I want a big bed and a nice couch. That's my
I just
basis.
want some place that's clean and I can have an area to work at for my videos. That's it. I think that's it. That's how we like talk. That's how we like work our stuff out.
And if Lauren is having trouble like communicating, sometimes she'll like write down like a whole letter for me to read, which I appreciate.
Oh yeah, we started a journal, like a book about like anything we like, if something like if we want somebody else to know or like and it's talking is too hard, it's good to write it down and then they could just show it. So we have a journal and then we like date it and we like it's kind of cool. That's how we argue and that's how it's been working so far. We're doing good.
We're good.
Okay,
like,
it's successful. I've never
fight.
felt more solid in a relationship than this one because of all the communication and all of the everything like that and the progress and learning experiences. So that's good. I'm glad that I feel secure.
We challenge each other in a good way.
Yeah.
We grow with each other and we're looking into our next steps in our future. So we're gonna get a place together.
Hopefully.
By the end of summer is the goal.
I have a Patreon page, so if you want to go support my creative endeavors and or our new future place, ? You can do that. I have videos and photos and stuff available, so if you want to go check that out, you can. We'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Probably, I do Mondays and Fridays.
Peace out.
That was a long
Your belt
video.
looks cute.